It is spoopy season. Do you want to hear a scary fact? Cameras are a two-directional recording device. Isn't that right, Cameron? Oh yes, Cameron, I can see you there. Cameron, laying on your bed with your phone and your headphones watching this video, thinking that no one sees you. Anyway, so good evening. Ladies, Lasses, and Lassos, welcome to Think Especially You. Cameron, don't think I don't know. So today, we're gonna do something absolutely amazing. I'm so glad to have all of you with me. It's spoopy season, and what is not spoopier than a Karen? Welcome to r/FreakYouKaren, and a lot of the memes today are Halloween themed, so I do hope you enjoy. Mwah. And remember to subscribe. We're only 9 million away from 10 million subscribers. We're basically there. Can we get there before Christmas? No. Going to a costume party tonight as Karen and her non-vaccinated child. This is such a good costume. I am so jealous that it wasn't me who came up with this. I have my wig and everything. I just need to get a baby skeleton. Does anyone have a baby skeleton laying around? Let me know, fam. We can get together for the most ultimate costume. Karen.
What in the heck is the world coming to? I was trying to be a good American and support local biz, so I took my kids to Blorp Apple Orchard. What a rip-off! They charged me $30 for a small bag of the ugliest and dirtiest apples you've ever seen. Not only that, but these scammers had the nerve to not even wash the apples for us. I am so mad, I am shaking.
You really know how to savor your emotions for the most important things in life? Apples.
I can't wait to see these crooks lose their business. What goes around comes around.
And here's a picture of the apple, which looks like a perfectly normal apple if you don't count, the super big red ones that are like genetically pumped to shite that you find in the grocery store. If you buy locally grown stuff or natural stuff, or if you have an apple tree yourself in the yard, they will look like this. I love how this went from like support local biz to I can't wait to see the burn in hell. Because their apple isn't perfectly round like my brain. Karen picks fruit for the first time. I read this like an Always Sunny title card, lol. The gang discovers where apples grow. But it's like that though. What? Apples come from nature and nature is dirty? Ugh. I need to speak to the bananager. To the bananager. I love this. Oh my, yes. Can we do a plushie of the bananager Karen? I love this. We can make like this a VeggieTales, but just Karen interactions instead. I think it would be beneficial for future generations. Yes. Golden Clear Creek. Ban the All-Grass Beer Festival. What? Okay, this starts off aggressively. Oh, yes, indeed. Gotta fix my hair. Oh, yes, and that looks so.
Do your part as a citizen of Golden to counteract the glamorization of alcoholism by not going to the beer festival.
Everyone drinking beer is automatically an alcoholic. That's... All right.
Golden is a family-oriented town and will not be introduced to alcohol/marijuana activities or events that promote them. Keep alcohol/drug activities and their associated people out of Golden to keep our family safe.
Christian mom moves to town with the largest brewery in the world. Residents like to drink beer. Christian mom, what? I am a suppressed poo-poo-mon. Let people have fun. If someone, went super drunk to a school, or, your babysitter showed up drunk or something like that, yes, it's inappropriate because you do something that is not suitable for kids and you bring that to their space. But demanding that the entire world is child-friendly, especially considering like a beer festival, which I'm assuming doesn't have any children inside of it, it's kind of a long shot. I've never liked those kind of limitations. You get that sometimes as well, as a YouTuber, where people are like, you made an innuendo joke, think of the kids. I don't run a kids channel. Sis, stop. We are doomed. They are multiplying. Oh God! It's like, it's not the kind of multiplication that you typically think of. It's like with cells. It's like, But they're probably perfectly normal ladies, if I'm gonna be honest. The haircut is a meme, but the people behind the haircut aren't always bad. It's important to make the separation there, people. A trick or treat, mandatory participation from this place, City of Commerce residents. All residents in the Blorp community of Blorp are obligated to hand out candy October the 31st, Halloween night, at the start of hour 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. midnight, in act of bringing life back to our community. Now that the pandemic of the coronavirus 19 is over, the over is capitalized for some reason. I plan to see all my Blorp residents this Halloween night, as I myself will be participating in the spirit of Halloween, going door to door trick-or-treating, introducing myself to all my residents. Your neighborhood watch captain. Wait, so you're not even, you're demanding it because you want to go around and say hello to people. You're not demanding it for the sake of the children? What is, isn't this supposed to be like, you know, a non-mandatory fun thing to participate in? You know, back in my day, when I was a wee lad back in the 1800s, the punishment for not participating in it was literally that, trick or treat. It's like, oh, someone shows trick? Well, let's toss some, I don't know, some toilet paper on their car. You know, it was that kind of stuff. But you just turned it into like a mandatory Karen night. Way to suck the fun out of things, God.
Please fill my window washer fluid all the way up. I expect it to last 6 months, not 3 or 4 months. If I get shortchanged on window washer fluid, it makes me wonder if the other fluids are filled to their optimal levels as well. I stopped going to this place service because of this, and I find that if it happens again, I won't be back.
You know, it might also be that kind of wild concept that with the amount you use the car, your containers aren't big enough to last 6 months, no matter how, you know, much you fill them up. That can also be a variable in this equation. I don't think every single garage in the world is just shorting you on the freaking window washer. It's not liquid gold. Come on now.
Parents, beware! During Halloween, the fentanyl problem is serious. Children should be told not to eat any treats until a responsible person can examine the child's bag for colorful candy and suspicious packaging.
Worry about storing your own drugs properly in child-resistant containers in an out-of-reach place. Drugs are expensive. No one is putting them in your kid's candy. I'm like, what is this? I think you can just, you know, apply a bit of reason that kind of shuts out like all the extreme stuff. You know, there will be people on rare occasion that mess with stuff, even if it costs them something themselves, just because they're a-holes or because they just want to mess with people. But you also don't have to be paranoid about every single thing. You know, there is a middle ground that excludes all kind of extreme black and white kind of opinions. That goes for a lot of things in the world, and Halloween candy I didn't think was like the most divisive topic in the world, but here we are.
Karen, do you yield?
The manager. I do not.
Ooh, this is gonna be spicy.
Happy National Coming Out Day. No matter if you're out or not, who you are is valid, and you are always welcome here. Pride flag, heart, heart.
Do the AVs welcome conservative Christians who maintain that homosexuality is contrary to both nature and God's law?
This is not about you. This is for our friends who historically don't feel safe or welcomed in a hockey environment, and many who still don't. We weren't excluding anyone. Why are you? This is such a backwards argument. What are you doing? It's like, oh, we're making the effort to make sure that everyone feels welcome. And someone comes along and say, hey, I am also welcome, obviously, because no one has said anything else.
But I have an opinion. These are not welcome. Why do you not welcome my opinion about these people not being welcome?
I wonder why. Gee.
This is Karen. Karen, block driveways, please. Don't be like Karen.
I feel like this is a beautiful way of doing this. Halloween decorations to just encourage healthy neighborhood interactions. Yes, what a time to just seize the opportunity.
It is spooky Christmas after all. Frick yeah, Skeleton Santa.
Alert! You are entering an AZO Kid Zone. By entering this Kid Zone, you agree to the following. Kids are number one. Fun, not winning, is everything. Fans only cheer and only coach is coach. I wonder what made him write that one. Oh gee. No yelling in anger. This is just soccer moms 101. Respect the volunteer referees. No swearing, no smoking. Leave no trash behind. Set a proper example for our children. If you can agree to the above, we welcome you. If not, we ask that you please leave now. ASO, it's for the kids. This just seems to be directed at the parents who just make their kids little silly competitions all about themselves.
My kid has to be the superior one, and I will sue everyone here if they don't win this little...
I don't know, rubber ball tournament or something. I have finally found it after 15 years, the Scroll of Truth! The plague only went away because it was so virulent that it essentially ran out of people to infect. Yeah! A disease temporarily fizzling out because it killed 1/3 of a continent is not a reason to refuse vaccines. But they survived without the vaccine. What do you mean they... Yeah, but 60% survived. Gee, what a great numbers. Wow, statistics.
Be forewarned, sinners. If you choose to have an abortion in Charlotte, NC, the team there will be taking photos of your license plates and publishing them online for various social media platforms. In these photos, you can see that they're even coming from Georgia and South Carolina to murder their babies. How wicked is that? Talk about workers of inequity. They are working at it.
Wow, that's okay. So you're basically doing essentially harassment campaigns online because people that don't agree with your way of doing things. That seems to be very productive. You know, this is so nasty, no matter where it comes from, you know? People that conflate activism with harassment are typically not on the good side. You know, if you go to that extent, you probably lost your moral high ground quite a long time ago. And also, when it comes to this topic in particular, what it usually lands in, for me at least, is just pragmatism. If you just throw all the moral stuff out the window for a second, can you actually enforce it? And the answer is, well, not really. It's the same kind of thing that they tried to do with alcohol in the US way back in the day. Did it stop anyone from consuming alcohol just because they outlawed it? No, it did not. It just created massive underground markets and all that kind of fun stuff. So,
Yeah, sheesh, please.
We've determined it wasn't a wolf, said Greg, at Montana Fish Wildlife and Park Communicator and Educator Division Administrator.
So this morning, I set out for a solo predator hunt for a fall black bear. However, I got the opportunity to take another predator wolf pup.
It's this post! We had that post in another video. She just shot someone's dog. It just looked like a husky. She was like, oh, it's a random, a lone wolf pup, you know, around the neighborhood for some reason. So it's confirmed. It wasn't even a maybe if you can't tell your neighborhood dog from a wolf pup apart, you probably shouldn't have a hunting rifle. Just gonna be honest. Bee plant. Hi, Cass. How long has this plant been in this pot?
What a stupid question.
Lol, what? I just wanted to know if it's established or has just been planted. Don't think it's stupid at all, but thanks anyway.
Established, of course. Thanks anyway.
Wow, I hope you're not trying to make a living in sales. Cass, Karen, makes sense.
Frick off!
Damn, that is smooth. You know, you're trying to sell something and someone asks a perfectly normal, polite question about the thing you're selling.
Stupid question!
Smooth like sandpaper. City of Prosser takes down Karen-themed Halloween display after community backlash, and that's the one that got taken down. So offensive. Let's dig into this, shall we? The City of Prosser took down a Karen-themed Halloween display at City Hall after residents found it offensive. So it's just like an ugly face and it says, "Can I speak to the manager?" This is what's deemed offensive by local communities. Now, when they say community, it's like that one old lady who complains about everything who calls the cops on like kids playing in the street. It's come on now, come on. Diving on a paint-covered trampoline in slow-mo, the slow-mo guys. Look at that, it's like rainbows and stuff, looks really cool.
I wasn't aware the slow-mo guys hated Jesus.
That's... what? I think we watched different videos.
My kids would watch them in the car and at church all the time, but not anymore. They have been polluted by the lib gays.
By the lib gays? The amount of terms I come across in these videos, I couldn't make this stuff up in 100 years. It is amazing.
And we do not have room for that in our God-loving home. Slow-mo gays.
Just lost a subscriber. Oh my god. That is an amazing name for like a second channel devoted to charity or something, but how can anyone read this and take it serious? How much? Sometimes in life, you encounter these wild things happening where you have people taking stuff too far that possibly no one could agree with. You see this, for example, with environmental protests, where it turns out some of the protests have been most likely funded by oil companies because the oil companies just want like an extreme, unlikable, radical face on the countering movement. So it's like a way of funding the most, you know, rambunctious parts of the opposing side. I'm like, I wanted to give this the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, maybe the gays funded this, but I don't think so. Lib gays. I'm never gonna forget this. This is amazing. Core memory acquired. No receipt equals no returns. No tags equals no returns. Clearance / jewelry / watches / sales item, no returns. Yes, Karen, the sign is good enough. Try me. No, Karen, we do not have to mention the return policy at the initial sale. Our return policy is printed on the back of the receipt. The details are also on the website. No, Karen, you are not going to speak to the manager. No, Karen, I am not going to call anyone for you. What? What the frick? A random store is not the place where I can go on weird power trips. Scandal? A party guest put off by roaming dogs. Dear Abby, my husband and I attended a party at the home of one of my co-workers. The problem was the homeowner's pets. The dogs were allowed to roam freely during the party. That's a good thing. That's amazing. Well, I would be more likely to go to a party if they were roaming dogs. They barked each time a guest knocked or rang the doorbell and jumped on each person who entered. That's amazing. You get a free dog hug? God, I would pay to go there. They hovered at people's feet waiting for food to drop or to be given to them. I would sneak them food, even if they told me no. I mean, food that's good for them, you know, healthy stuff. It felt like we were expecting to pet the animals and interact with them, whether we wanted or not. Oh no, pet a dog, what the horror. The homeowner made no attempt to control the dogs or keep them away from any of the guests. What would have been the polite way of asking my coworkers to put the dogs in their kennels? Dear likes, to an animal lover, a pet is a member of the family. Your coworker obviously saw nothing wrong with her dogs mingling with the guests. There is no polite way to ask a host to put a family member in the garage during a party. Telling your coworker that you found the pet's behavior disruptive may solve your problem because he/she will probably omit you from the future guest list. That is a brutal response. I love it. Always side with the puppies. That is a lesson of life.
Do not watch this film. They could be casting any spell they want to. Anything could be coming through that TV screen into your home.
Disney's Hocus Pocus 2. Are you suggesting that curses are gonna jump out of the TV monitor because you're watching Disney's Hocus Pocus? You know, usually when you say stuff like, oh, the boogeyman was made up to scare rambunctious kids. Oh, Hocus Pocus was scared to rile up rambunctious Karens. Do any adult actually believe this? It's just, what? Item 1 out of 1 items in order. Karen! Okay, matcha, 2/3 decaf, quad long shot Restilla, 2 pumps white mocha, 2 pumps caramel sauce, 2 pumps mocha, 2 pumps, 2 pumps, 4 pumps. What on earth? Holy, this is just like a cup full of syrup. This is just syrup, all of it? This is just a can of diabetes. Holy shit.
The children at my son's elementary school have started referring to me as a Karen and mocking my chick hairstyle. Is there anything I can do in the way of legal action to prevent this? I am deeply offended.
Well, posting questions about suing 8-year-olds is probably the wrong way to beat the stereotype. Why do you play into it? You're getting outwitted by 8-year-olds. Dear, oh no! If you have not seen this already, a young disabled woman with a terminal disease had guests raise a complaint against her for forcing them to be around disabled people, which is against their beliefs. Airbnb backed them up, and she is now having to take legal action, and the same guests are now suing for life-changing amounts of money for the trauma of being exposed to her disability cost them. Meanwhile, she's also having to legally challenge Airbnb on top of that. Excuse, what? What? So wait a second, the lawsuit is not being made on a case of, real freaking active discrimination, which this really sounds like. It was like a really nasty discrimination case. It's made like, oh no, we had to watch a body that was disabled in some way. Oh, the trauma. Let's discriminate them and also take them to court for it. Sometimes the world is like a weird backwards kind of thing, and stuff like this makes me think that we do live in the Matrix after all.
My gym has a childcare room. Kids under 12 are not around on the gym floor. Today there was a member pushing her child around in a stroller. When I went to staff, I was told management allowed this.
I mean, yeah, when you have a kid's room, I don't think that includes toddlers. Would you want to leave a toddler in a stroller with a bunch of 12-year-olds? I sure as heck wouldn't.
I went into the childcare room and inquired about it again, and was told the child has separation anxiety and cries for 20 minutes, so it is allowed. At this point, I did cancel my membership.
Yeah, stand up for the important things in life. People like this just don't have any real problems, I swear to God.
But I wanted to work out before I left, so I confronted a woman personally that I did not feel comfortable working out near her child.
Why? It's a child sitting in a stroller. Why do you care?
She was upset that I was confrontational and went to the front desk. I was then approached by the same staff person I originally complained to and was told to leave and never come back. Remember, I already cancelled. And when I was asked why I had to leave, he threatened to call the cops. I was okay with that because I know I did nothing wrong. When the cop showed up, he said he was responding to a call from a disorderly female, but no mention of the child being on the gym floor.
Do you know the private business that is the gym made a decision of who and who isn't allowed in the gym? You know that the child room isn't part of like federal law? It's just the specific gym policy, and if they want to be lenient on it, that's up to them. Why do you think the cops have anything to do with this?
I gave him my side of the story and took it all down. My questions are even thought I have no desire to go there and already cancelled. It's a private gym, he's not the owner, can they really refuse to service to me?
You know, apart from the fact that you already canceled your membership, but yes.
I was not the one being distracting or unsafe. I think they might be in violation here with the Department of Human Services. Should I be reporting them to Childline and suing them for discrimination?
Discrimination based on what? What are you being? What's the basis for discrimination? You were like harassing people, and then you had the cops called on you. What part of this is discrimination? You know, discrimination usually has to be something. Oh, they called the cops specifically for the color of your skin, or you know, because of something else, or whatever it might be. This is you were just being a little poo. You were just being in butthole. That's not discrimination. Slow down, Karen. I need to get a sign like this. Oh my god, when I move out into a neighborhood with families, I'm not gonna have, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna have a bunch of ducks. I'm gonna buy one of these signs, yeah, so people don't hit my ducks with their cars.
Hi, we are stuck during the storm like the rest of the folks. I've seen posts about Disney hotels and that they are taking care of their guests. I was hoping we would receive the same, or at least close to, staying at the Marriott Swan Hotel. The dinner time was horrible here. Hotel not prepared at all. Wait time was 3 hours at 4 p.m. for food. You couldn't take food out and had to eat at the restaurant after waiting for 3 hours. We tried ordering room service and it went through only to have it cancelled 20 minutes later. I know they're short-staffed and not a good situation for anyone, but had time to prepare and have some pizza and nuggets for the kids. Not an event.
It is not too late to delete this post. It is a natural disaster. The staff is having to work taking care of guests instead of being with their own families during this time. Be thankful. People are in danger of losing their lives, but hey, sorry about your nuggets. How is this so disconnected from just humanity? What? 1 star. My husband wore a button-up and slacks and was treated well there for years. Went in with a hat on, t-shirt and shorts one day and he hadn't been there for a while and wow, how things changed. Treated like crap by the owner/management. Asked why they increased their prices on their lunch special, $2 per plate, and was told that he was lying and they hadn't changed pricing in years. Food was always okay, but we'll never go there again just because of how they reacted to someone that didn't recognize as a regular because of how he was dressed. Oh my god. Talk about making a massive conflict out of nothing. If I came in with a cap to a place I usually go to, I wouldn't necessarily expect them to recognize me. They probably have like hundreds of guests per day, and you haven't been there in a while. Like, come on there. Be nice to me, Karen. I may be your nurse someday. That is so ominous and so good, I love it. r/FrickYouKaren. Some of the people you'll post aren't Karens at all. Not defending Karens, but angry middle-aged white women aren't always Karens. This is probably gonna be taken down, but it just feels like people see an angry woman and they assume she's a Karen and invalidate what they have to say. Like, if someone being a complete bish, then yeah, they are. But being an angry woman and being a Karen are not inherently the same thing, even though they usually overlap. That's very true. Yeah, with stuff like this and memes, it usually starts off very nicely, and most of it is, you know, within reason, I would say, when I scroll places like this, but sometimes you see posts that are just, you know, oh, haha. Some of it is lighthearted memes, I would say. You know, you see a meme haircut, and it's like, oh, haha, Karen haircut, but there doesn't have to be anything more to it. But sometimes people use things like this to invalidate, you know, valid anger, and that's never a good thing. Make sure that the person being called a Karen is actually in the wrong, overstepping boundaries, or doing things like, for example, the gym story. Typical Karen story, you know? A Karen assaulting people and being harassy and then being surprised and calling discrimination when they're called out for it. Very typical Karen behavior. Just someone being angry for reasonable things. You know, we all get angry. Doesn't make us Karens. As the edit, I'm not responding to hate. For everyone wanting an example, you can look here. Oh, okay. Rick Astley never gonna give you up with a black screen. Alright, thank you. Karen ordered out one too many times. I am a DoorDasher to make ends meet. Last night I got to witness the straw that broke Karen's camel's back. I was delivering food to a house out of the country. Tip wasn't great, but it was on my way home, so I went for it. When I got to the house, there was an old man sitting on the porch. Got out of the car and he had his angry look on his face and asked, "Did X order out again?" I pulled out my phone and showed him the order, and he immediately started ranting. Something about how she is 3 months behind on rent, but orders out every night and gets multiple packages from Amazon every week. Seems like a pretty bad strategy for saving money. He walked to the door with me and went off on her. Next thing I know, she's staring daggers at me. I was about to say something when he cut her off and told her it wasn't my fault she got caught. I handed him the food and walked away as she was laying down the law and giving her 1 week to pack her shite and leave. Oh my god, the drama at work. Ooh. Was in my car about to leave when the old man walked up to me and handed me an extra $10. Told me he was sorry I just walked into that and that he knew she did not tip me well. So, old farmer man, I hope you get that situation straightened out. And good for you for putting your foot down on a Karen who's taken advantage of your kindness. That is so white. Oh my god. What a nice dude though, to like make sure you get compensated for kind of being caught up in the drama. But oh. Like, ordering out is fine, but it is kind of pricey, and if you're already 3 months behind on rent, maybe not the best thing to do. It's a pretty poor way of saving money. Oh god.
Can you ask for no cheese on my cheeseburger?
Yeah, and apparently the hamburger is $1 cheaper if you just want that.
I do not want a hamburger. I want a cheeseburger with no cheese. If I wanted a hamburger, I would order a hamburger.
Okay.
There goes your tip.
But a cheeseburger without cheese is just a hamburger. Oh my, Just order the hamburger and take that extra $1 as your tip. There you go. Yes, yes, do this. You gotta play the game. You know, you don't make the rules, but you can at least play within them to your heart's content. I love drawing wordless cartoons. Happy Halloween 2022. So, she dressed up like the neighborhood Karen, look at that. Oh, that is beautiful. I love this. Kids' creativity, amazing. Karen.
I have reported this page for racism to President Trump. It will be taken down and y'all will be on a list of racists.
Okay, Karen. List of racists. The government in various places have, you know, watch lists and high-risk individuals, that kind of stuff. I'm not sure if they have a list that's just racists. Especially based on some random Facebook post like this. What is... I also love how they reported it directly to Trump. Ah, beautiful. As we get closer to Halloween, remember, no stoner likes your kid enough to give them their edibles. Ah, amen. Hashtag GFK. Get fricked Karen. That's a good logo. You can make a company with this.
How come priority seating is for those with a dog, not those with kids? Look, priority seating must be vacated for blah, 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 blah. Look at this. You have person with broken leg, you have person in wheelchair, and you have person with dog. Pets count as disabilities. Why don't kids count as disability? Oh.
You know, ignore the fact that it's probably, you know, an assistant pet, you know, for people with sight impairments and that kind of stuff. But it's just a doggo. Instead of posting a rant about this on your story or whatever this is, you could have just asked, and it would have been clarified. Everyone makes mistakes, that's fine. It can be a casual, like, funny misunderstanding that you'll probably laugh about in the future, but this kind of like warpath as the initial reaction, probably not the way to go. Did you ever hear of the tragedy of Darth Karen the Delusional? I want to speak to your manager, Zap. This is some Star Wars crossover stuff. I kind of want to make a live-action parody about this. That would be so good. Local page that posts what she hears on police scanners in the area. Location. Karen advised a group of kids are playing football outside and they almost hit her vehicle with the football. Hashtag let them be kids. Wait a second. So nothing has actually happened. They're playing football on the street and the ball came close to your car, but nothing even happened? And you called the police? What about, you know, not worrying about it because nothing has actually happened? Or just telling the kids like, hey there, kiddos, I see you're having fun. That's some YOLO swag stuff right there. But can you kick the ball slightly further away from the cars? Thank you. And they will probably listen. But it's preventive police calling. Ooh, yeah, preventive police calling. What if that ball hits the tire of your car? Oh no. Arson suspect said restaurant got his order wrong. Sounds like a male Karen move. Yeah, you.
Has anyone been hearing fire trucks drive down Maud all day with their sirens on? I swear my cable internet lags every time and I can't stand it. I'm trying to watch the US Open. Fire trucks for Lee's use and alternative routes. Yep, this afternoon just a few minutes ago. Seems to have happened several times this week as well.
Why don't you swing by the station and let them know you'd prefer them to use different, likely longer route to get there? Yeah, people are burning inside buildings, but can you take a longer road because my router, which apparently can't handle sirens from a few roads away for some reason, lags when you drive by. Are you sure that you're just not making it up? And if it really is that bad, you should probably buy a better router. Like, that is ridiculous. Karen, 1963, spoke to the manager for life, 6 feet too close. She lived, laughed, loved, and left. And there's also a mask on this side. This is a good, yes. Oh my god, Halloween brings out the best creativity in the world, I swear to god.
I was driving down the interstate and saw these weird trucks driving extremely slow. Like, get off the road, people. And I didn't think much of it until I saw these guys wearing bulletproof vests and helmets. One of our passengers noticed she started feeling lightheaded, and we googled it along with these trucks. They're likely giving off 5G radiation that attempts to alter your thought process and give you the Clover-19.
Oh, were you misspelling it on purpose so your posts don't get tagged as misinformation? I guess that's what it is.
One passenger immediately coughed in the car right after passing the second one. Can't possibly be a coincidence. We feared for our life and called the police on them. There was an entire line of them. The police said they look out for them and avoid them. Then we slowed down and stayed behind them until they arrived. A state trooper pulled me over for a false 911 call and ticketed for tailgating. Is this the country we're living in? Secrecy? What are they doing with these misshaped vehicles? I fear for my life and I have to pay Georgia money for being woke. I will figure out who's behind the wheel of this dangerous vehicle. Hashtag stay woke America. I demand an answer.
Donald Trump. All right, I see. Yeah, they're probably doing some military exercise or activities, and you were like caught basically stalking them in a weird fashion and also wasting police time because you believe that 5G, which is basically the same shit as 4G with just like, you know, higher frequency. So basically you transfer information faster, but typically don't have the same kind of reach, which is why you find, for example, 3G out when you go far outside the cities, but 4G inside the cities, you know, because wavelengths are shorter and longer, which means more information, but less reach, basically. You'll also notice the same thing if you have like a 5G option on a router at home. The regular Wi-Fi has a longer reach, but slower transfer rate, and the 5G is faster, but typically doesn't reach as far. That is the difference. Why do you think 5G? He's like, oh, radiation and COVID and mental program, but 4G isn't? It's just frequency. God, Jesus, frick. Hey, Blorp. I stopped by John Ann's Fabric a few weeks ago and noticed that an entire section of their Halloween decor was based on the Ouija board, complete with the dark satanic symbols of the game. There were towels, wall hangings, crystal ball, napkins, and paper plates, etc. There was also an entire cardboard display of tarot cards, books, and casting spells, hexes, senses. Oh god. There we are. All manner of products were. Oh no, you can't. No, please. What? That's not the right word. It's not even close. That encouraged customers to get involved with black and or white magic, crystal and new age demonic rituals that disturbed me greatly. The Ouija board is known as a game that conjures up dark and demonic entities who are real and communicate with those playing the game. I swear to God, you know, most people stop believing in stuff like Santa and Ouija boards when they're like, what, 5? Why do some people not leave that stage? I was real shocked that something so evil was being used as a basis for Halloween decor. My personal feelings of Halloween are not positive generally, and we don't celebrate it in my family at all. But there's a fine line between being cute and just having fun for the tradition aspect of it and actually participating in or advocating for the use of things or practices that actually have a demonic nature. But how do you determine what a demonic nature is? Because you just said the card game is demonic, you know? Is demonic just whatever you think is demonic or what you don't like? You know, is a random drawing demonic? What emphasizes demonic power, you know? What is that if you want to make it tangible? Probably very unspecific. This stuff is not a game, no pun intended. It is 100% real and can and will have lasting negative effects not only on the individuals who participate, but the entire community and even the entire valley as these practices are happening. These are the same kind of people that believe that D&D was satanic back in the day. Jeez. If Joann's is allowed to provide these dark products to the public, the geographical area behind Joann's is the mouth of the island. Does anyone recall that there's been at least 4 break-ins people's home in the island in the last month? Well, there's no way to know if these ideas are connected. Ouija boards are connected to break-ins? As a statistical mathematician, or at least I used to be back in uni, this makes me sad. This makes me very sad. It goes without saying that when people allow darkness into their lives, they do dark, perhaps criminal things. There's nothing good that can possibly come from having these products available to people. I realize that Joann's has the prerogative to sell whatever it wants to its customers, but as its customers, we have the right to let them know that we do not support the decision to sell demonic products that cause 4 break-ins in the general area. Damn. But that is a human phenomenon that is surprisingly common throughout history. Humans have this way, usually it's, you know, part of our brain that is useful for a lot of things, but sometimes it leads us astray when we connect dots that look like they have something to do with each other, but they don't actually have anything to do with each other. It could be something as simple as something happening over here, you read something on the news, and then your brain remembers it, and it's like, oh my god, they're probably connected, and you draw lines and connect dots and stuff where connections don't actually exist. It is a real phenomenon, and there are many examples of it happening in larger extension than this throughout history, which is kind of fascinating. It keeps going? No! I went to the manager and let him know my feelings about this, and I encouraged you all to concern blah 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 demonic, their shelves no longer patronize the store. Look at all this demonic stuff. Wow, that is horrible. It even looks pretty harmless. My god, like I have been to like comic book stores that look more satanic than this. Come on. Well, the name certainly fits. Karen.
I refuse to bow to the woke, butt-hurt, thin-skinned wiener generation and their me demands. Screw their foolish garbage. But listen to me about the me.
Best of luck to this Karen. A couple of weeks ago, a Karen entered one of the stores of the company I work for. She wanted a phone that wasn't available in the store at the time. It was completely sold out. She could have easily checked this online before heading to the store. She proceeded to be very rude to the employee and left. She then wrote a complaint to management, which is where I come in. She wrote that the employee was very rude and refused to sell her the phone. She wanted action to be taken against him, or she was going to contact the media. But the concept of being out of stock is alien to you? Alright. I told her that we were able to see what happened in the store. Oh yeah, I guess they have cameras and stuff for security reasons. I also told her that no media would be interested in her story, and that I had blocked her account from making any further purchases at her company. I wished her best of luck with her story and a nice day. Today she emailed us again, asking for the blockage to be removed from her account. In return, she said she wasn't going to press charges or contact the media. I told her no, wished her best of luck again. It felt very good. Frick you, Karen. Oh, she tried to hold it over your head. Oh my god.
If you lift my ban, I won't cancel you.
Boop, boop. Fanciest house on the street by a mile put a note in all our letterboxes asking us to be very quiet from 2 p.m. today for a backyard wedding. And to be honest, I am in awe of my neighbor who whipped out the lawnmower at 2 p.m. on the dot. Oh my god. The neighborhood drama. Oh, yes, indeed.
Both of my grown daughters are gay and married to women. I would never turn my back on them, but I don't know how to handle it. Continue to love for them and pray for them. May God Almighty come through you and help you with your babies. Amen. You can always pray to God for them. Encourage them to pray with you, to read the Bible every now and then.
Or you just, let them be happy and live their lives. How about that? If you are a family that traditionally goes to church and that kind of stuff, and you do it in a wholesome community way, like, why not? Like, go nuts. But this sounds more like you are like, oh my god, I'm so big and mighty that I'm not gonna abandon them, but I'm also not gonna let go of the bias that I genuinely believe something is wrong with them, and I need God's help to fix it. That's pretty gross. You should probably stop. 2 stars. The food is really good here. They seem to be hiring the most woke-looking staff they can find, though. I am not really into that, and will eat elsewhere. In my experience, like, the woke-looking staff cook, like, the best food. It's alright. Karen sells her daughter's plush toys without asking, keeps the money, and laughs about her daughter being mad at her for it.
I sold my daughters for $35 set, and she's still mad at me. But mine weren't rare.
My kids would never speak to me again if I sold their Angry Bird figures. They've been obsessed for over a decade, though. I hope you didn't sell them without asking her. I was very attached to toys as a kid. To some people, getting rid of them is like throwing away their friends.
She is 17 and wants to keep every single plush. We have like 20 special and like another 20 just cute.
So, that's her property. It's not yours to take/sell. You wouldn't like it if someone sold stuff that was important to you without asking and kept the profits for themselves. I'm sorry, but she has every right to be mad at you.
Kind of didn't ask for a lecture on my parenting skills. Monkey emoji.
You shared what you did on a public post. Don't share if you don't want replies of all kinds. Your child deserves respect. That includes respect of her feelings/property. Not only did you steal her stuff, you sold it, kept the money, and laughed about her being mad at you for it. Get your own stock. Don't steal it from loved ones. That is so nasty. Why would you do that? I mean, if it's going overboard, and your family's literally like a hoarder, and it's filling up every cabinet and stuff, yeah, maybe come to a reasonable conclusion and compromise and talk to them about getting rid of some of the stuff, sure. But this sounds like it's plushies, just vibing in her own room or in a closet or something. It's not a huge issue, and if you really think it is, you should have communicated beforehand. This is the worst possible way to do this.
Why is there a coyote on the bus?
Coyote! Probably because it can't freaking drive, Karen! That's pretty funny. I would like to ride with a coyote on the bus. It could be the bus mascot. It's so cute. Oh, little cat, I'm so upset. And oh, it's Kitty. This drawing is amazing. If the restaurants I go to had drawings like this, I would go there twice as often. Oh, yes, indeed. I am a sucker for memes. 40-year-old Karens when they say bonjour at a Chinese restaurant. Spanish! I am quite of a multi-language myself. Yes, indeed.
If we abolish the police, how will we solve murders?
White women with podcasts, Stephen. I swear to God, when we have a certain number of podcasts, that's what's going to trigger the apocalypse. That's just a number both Satan and God are waiting for. It's like, oh, podcast number 10 million was made. Time Time for the flood. By the way, myself and Topiky have revived our podcast, the One Click Podcast. Click on it once and you're hooked forever. It is like a drug for your brain and ears. And check it down. Link below. And if I forget that, it's on my channel section. God, I'm professional. It's really fun. It's a nice podcast. You will enjoy it. Trust me, we talk about very intriguing things that you will not be able to stop listening to. Oh yes. Karens.
Video games cause violence.
Ancient Greeks. Lemao. Let's shove this dude inside a ball statue and roast him alive. Woo! In a non-violent, wholesome way. Yes, that is the difference. Karen. Everybody. Karen. Sweet, sweet darkness. Even the street signs are tired of it. Karen. Stop! Stop!
Wow, 3 tattoos? Those are pretty permanent, you know.
Me? Wow, 3 kids. Those are pretty damn permanent, Carol. Technically, both can be removed with lasers. This? Oh, Tumblr, never change. Am I the only one who... Yes, out of 7 billion people on the planet, you're the only person in the whole world who prefers Indian to Chinese. Charlie, you insufferable f***. I swear... Oh, this is like most venti Twitter posts. You can just write something that everyone agrees with, but make it sound like a lot of people don't. It's like, oh, I hate seeing people kick old ladies in the morning, and it's gonna get a bunch of likes and people like, yeah, screw them old lady kickers. But you just made something up that, you know, it probably has happened, you know, at some point, but, you know, it isn't like a common occurrence that you see outside your house every day. I would hope not. And you're just gonna get a bunch of likes, and a bunch of people riled up against something that's just, like, everyone agrees with. It's beautiful. Rage marketing. Well, laddies, lasses, and lasses, I do hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed having you here, you beautiful being, and I hope to see you in the very near future. Take care. Mwah.